Back so soon? I knew you would not falter.
Welcome back. It is week 10. So to start, we're going to recap the last week. So last week, I said I would work on my throw game. And that part was successful. I learned all the normals and specials that I could tick throw off of. And then I combined that with hit confirms. So I was tick throwing in the middle of my hit confirms. And then I combined that with pressure traps. So sometimes I would tick throw at the end of a combo before doing the special, and sometimes I would cancel into the special. That special being the gas cloud, and placing it in between Fang and the opponent. And then I combined those with whiff traps, which are doing part of the hit confirm and then walking backwards as a shimmy and then trying to whiff punish. However, those were not as successful as I would have hoped until I was forced to develop a better shimmy to make it work better. So the better shimmy is to walk forward a few frames and then walk backwards a few frames. And this works especially well with Fang's gas clouds, which I realize most characters will not have. But with Fang's gas clouds, what I can do is I can walk forward into or just beyond the gas cloud and then walk back behind it again. If people were afraid of the throw, they would throw tech, and I could get the whiff punish. And if people were not quite afraid of the throw but wanted to stop my walking, they would attack into the gas cloud and get hit. Sometimes I could combo into that if I was extremely ready for it. So, in terms of the stated goals for last week, that was a success. However, the rest of the week was an unmitigated disaster. So, why was a disaster the result, you might ask? I did rank up to Ultra Gold after all. And it's true, I did. However, every single day that I tried to rank up, that would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I lost 700 or 800 points, then had to regain those 700 or 800 points, and then gain another 200 or 300 points on top of that. Why did this happen? So that's what we're going to cover now. So the first reason why last week it was a disaster, netcode, unfortunately was the culprit. This happens every time Capcom releases a new character, or in this case the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, where a bunch of people who have not been playing for a while come back for a week or two and play. And the really unfortunate part about this is that the majority of these people have bad internet connections. Either they're on Wi-Fi, or there's something wrong with their wiring, or maybe their ISP just sucks. I don't know. Whatever the reason, the end result is that in matches they end up teleporting. And I don't mean just a little bit of teleporting, I mean all the time. To the point where it's actually very difficult or even outright impossible to punish the things that they do that are unsafe on block. And the second part of that unfortunate thing is that their ranks are artificially inflated because of the lag. I know that I have a good internet connection. These people are playing as though they were 1 or 2 ranks lower, but because it's actually impossible to punish them or block what they are doing because I can't even see it, it's easier for them to win. And either they realize this and don't care, or they don't realize it and actually think that they're good. Both of those are bad. So the answer is, unfortunately, that you cannot rematch these people and that you have to blacklist them. More than 80% of the matches that I played ranking up to Ultra Gold were like this, where they were teleporting messes. Every single one of those people I did not rematch and I blacklisted. There are a lot of people on my blacklist now that they were not there prior to the 30th anniversary edition dropping. And I hate to say that I have to do it, but you cannot be expected to play well against people that are teleporting. It's impossible. It's tilting, it's frustrating, and you lose points needlessly because of it. So the solution to this problem is, unfortunately, one and done. Win or lose, you do not rematch. Win or lose, you exit the set and you blacklist that person and you look for the next match. Problem 2 was a result of being tilted, frustrated, angry, as a result of problem number 1. I was so frustrated by the laggy connections and losing a whole bunch of points every day that I was actually getting tilted. And in getting tilted, I was failing to hit confirm, I was dropping combos, I was jumping into people that were looking for anti-airs. But I would argue that had I not been tilted because of how bad things were, I would not have done those. So really the problem is that I got tilted and I let it get to me. And the solution to tilt is to take a break, which is unfortunate, but that's what it is. Take a break and think about what the problems were, think about how to overcome them, and then come back to it when you're calmer. It's the same things that the video that I made about tilt talk about, which I've placed earlier in the playlist, very near the top. The next problem is something I had hoped to put off until Platinum, as I had planned to teach counter-poking, which is the second part of footsies. However, in ranking up to Ultra Gold, I realized that I had very little idea about how to fight many of the characters that I encountered. And if you don't have an idea of what to expect from a character, you cannot successfully predict what is likely to happen at any given time. The best you can do is throw something out and get lucky. So character matchups are going to be the focus, 2 per week, as a matter of fact. But since there are 24 and counting characters in the cast, there is a minimum of 12 weeks ahead of us in terms of work. So here's what we're going to do. Monday, we are going to develop a basic game plan for the 2 characters that we lost against most in the previous week. In my case, this is Abigail and Ed. After developing that basic game plan, you're going to examine all of their specials and see which ones you can punish, and all of their normals, and see which ones you get to take your turn after, maybe even get to punish, and which ones you have to block. So the ones that you have to block, when you turn on advanced hit data in training mode and you block them, they will show up in blue as plus some number. The ones that you can take your turn after or punish will show up in red as minus some number. So Tuesday is going to come around, and you're going to go into the Discord for that character and ask for a 1st to 10. In the description, I will leave a link to a page that has links to all of the Discords for all of the SF5 cast. So you click on the link of the character that you are interested in, and you ask for a 1st to 10 against your first character. And you may win the set, you may lose the set. You will almost certainly lose matches in that set. And then you will write down what went wrong, what went badly, and you will save it for the next day. After that set, you will go into the next character index, and you will do the same thing. Now Wednesday comes along, and your job is to go into training mode and figure out how to deal with the things that went badly. And the things that went well, see if you can improve them. If you can't, that's fine. The things that went badly, or so-so, you can definitely improve in some way. So ask yourself these questions. Can I take my turn here? If not, am I forced to block? Or can I escape with a backdash or a jump? Do I have to escape with a backdash or a jump, say, if the opponent is going to command grab me? If I backdash or jump and escape, is there something that I can do to punish with punish? If I have to block, can I take my turn? Can I actually land a punish? Those are all things that you need to investigate. So, Thursday comes along. You go back and you repeat what you did on Tuesday. And Friday comes along and you go back and you repeat what you did on Wednesday. Now, Saturday and Sunday are technically your days off. However, since the only thing you're working on is character matchups, I implore you to repeat Saturday and Sunday as though it was Tuesday and Wednesday. And if you feel comfortable with those matchups by Monday, then move on to the next 2 characters. And if you aren't sure what those characters are, go ahead and play ranked for a little bit. And just see what the first 2 characters that come up are, as long as they are different from the 2 characters that you've already learned matchups against. And then you start the process over with those 2 new characters. Right? Same schedule as the previous week. Basic game plan, 1st to 10 versus both, analysis and learning the matchup and training, 1st to 10, analysis and matchup training, 1st to 10, analysis and matchup training. Now, if you do not feel comfortable with the matchups that you've learned, then just continue until you do. Just continue until the next Monday. It's fine. It is more important that you feel comfortable with the matchup than that you rush through learning matchups and end up dreading every single matchup that you come across in ranked. So to summarize, there are a lot of laggy players online, unfortunately. There's also the occasional lag switcher, which you will recognize by playing a slideshow, and that opponent normally spams a single move. There's also the occasional rage quitter, which you will recognize by the abnormally high win streak. The one I encountered had a 92 win streak, but was merely super gold. That should tell you something. Do not rematch them. Not only do not rematch them, also blacklist them and move on. Rage quitters pose a problem where they do not leave a record in your match history. You will have to remember their CFN, their username, so that you can look them up via CFN and then blacklist them. The next thing was tilt. If you are frustrated or angry, Take a break until you calm down. And when you calm down, think about what went badly and how to improve on it. When you calm down, you can come back in 2 matches. That means if you lose a match in a set and you are tilted, do not rematch, just take a break. Now the final thing is learning matchups, 2 per week. Monday, you pick the 2 characters that you lost against the most in the previous week. And you develop a basic game plan for each of them. Tuesday, you play a 1st to 10 against those characters, against people that are of similar rank to you, within 1 rank. You're not going to learn anything if you curb stomp the opponent or you get curb stomped. It needs to be somebody at approximately your rank. Wednesday, you analyze the matches and you think about what went well, what went so-so, what went poorly, and how to improve on all of those, ideally in training mode. You try to work things out. Thursday and Friday are a repeat of Tuesday and Wednesday. Saturday and Sunday are also a repeat of Tuesday and Wednesday. Now Monday is where it's going to get tricky. You need to decide if you feel comfortable with the matchup. If you do, then move on to another 2 characters. You can more or less pick them at random if you don't have 2 that you already lose to a lot. If you do not feel comfortable with those matchups, just repeat what you did in the previous week for those characters. And we'll come back to it the next Monday. So hopefully this helps. Now learning matchups like this means that I will not be attempting to rank up for some time. I know that if I were to try to rank up, I could technically do it. However, my win rate would probably be 51%, which means I don't actually belong there because it was so difficult. I will know if I reach Platinum with a win rate lower than 60%, that the only reason I hit Platinum was because I grinded the points and maybe got lucky in who I was fighting against. I don't want to get to Platinum on the backs of Super Golds. I want to get to Platinum on the backs of Platinums and Ultra Golds. So because of that, I need to learn matchups before I attempt to rank up. And hopefully you realize that as well. So with all that said, I wish you good luck, and I will see you next week.
Few have reached the depths of the game that you have attained. They were too weak or too inflexible, too passionate or lacking in the necessary will. You are different.